I led into that. I hope you got that.
You just think you insulted me, Mr. Chairman. Representative, I was looking at the bill, and unfortunately for me, maybe way too late, and I'm sorry for this question at this time, but maybe it'll keep me from having to ask it on the floor. On page 5 of your bill, beginning on line 56, going through 162, that looks to me to be sort of a cutout for maybe a certain compromise or something. My question specifically is on line 60. Where does the number 100,000 come from? I mean, how is that calculated, or how was that arrived at? And who is this paragraph in here to accommodate that was part of this compromise?
So just to be sure, you're talking about section E starting at line 156, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay. Sir. That was the last addition to the bill. It was asked for by the EMCs. The EMCs sign contracts, because EMCs generally don't generate their own power. They sign contracts with people who generate the power, and the EMCs resell it. And these contracts say things like, if you sign up with A and B to generate power, that you're not going to sign up with person C. And so there's a lockout in those contracts about exactly who the EMCs can generate power from. And they're just worried that there's some contract somewhere could accidentally be violated, saying that Larry O'Neill's solar generation all of a sudden is a new provider and therefore is violating the EMC contract. So the EMC attorneys came up with this language, and the 100,000 was just a de minimis thing to try to keep them from being nitpicky unless it was a real significant issue. Yeah. Well, that's the contract, though, that's an EMC contract, not a contract you would have. So maybe 100,000 is a de minimis to the EMCs.
Mr. Rogers, you have another one?
Yeah, to you, Mr. Chairman, just because we do a study committee on something, does that mean we pass it out of the Rules Committee every time there's a study committee?
It went through energy.
You know, I haven't been up here, but this is my 5th year. The rest of them know that that don't make a whole hill of beans to me. It doesn't mean a whole hill of beans to me whether or not we've had a study committee or not. I'll take the advice of this committee, and that's about, period. And sometimes I won't even do that. Earl said I could.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Earhart, you out. Never mind, you're out. Anybody else got any questions? Mr. Smith.
Mr. Chairman, I request this bill be held for a day.
For those of you who are new, I give every member in the room the opportunity to hold a bill so that the questions, there seems to be more questions than I'm comfortable with to put it on the floor. I do not want that abused, by the way, just out of meanness from one to another. Because we've had that tried too. But Mr. Smith has asked that it be held today, give the author a chance to answer some questions offline. And with that said, it will be held today. Anybody got any comments from, not in the back, but here on the committee? Again, I appreciate your willingness. Never mind. Mr. Rogers, you have a comment? We'll drop that microphone. Okay. That's okay. But again, I do appreciate y'all's willingness to serve. I appreciate you asking tough questions. I'll let you know when we're going to have this much fun again. Bye.